welcome to Facebook Live Q&A and tutorial this time. I'm Erin Black. I am here with Mike Trower as well, who's going to introduce himself in a second. This is purely for the benefit of anyone that's watching it back while we wait for some of our live viewers to join. I can see we've got a few that have just joined the live stream now. We'll wait for a few more of you because we are streaming on Devon Live and Plymouth Live and Cornwall Live this morning, which is excellent news. This is something that I think everyone around the region is going to be really interested in, and Mike is doing some really good work where he's based over on Devon. So Mike, you're from Cooking with Cody. Could you introduce yourself to the audience, please, and explain what Cooking with Cody is and what we're doing today?
Yeah, so I'm Mike, and I created Cooking with Cody probably 2.5 years ago now. Cody is my son. He was 2 years old when I first started this, and I didn't know how to cook, and he didn't know how to cook because obviously he's only 2 years old. So I thought I'm going to make a little YouTube show of a dad and a 2-year-old learning to cook together. At the time, we were using like food bank food, and because I just become a single parent, so I was like, well, I'm going to video how to make stuff out of food bank food. Bearing in mind, I never cooked before, so I didn't really know what I was doing. And food bank food is completely random stuff. And to try and make use of this random stuff is really, really tricky. Like, there's different things in there, like lentils and chickpeas and chopped tomatoes. And it's like, well, what? I don't know what to do with any of this stuff. So I was like, right, I know, I'm going to film it all and then send it out there, and it'll be funny, and I'll make some memories with my son. And now it's kind of grown into this like mini empire where I'm actually like helping picky eaters. I'm helping with new ingredients. I'm helping people with so like if the children have got dietary requirements, or if people don't know what to do with their food bank donations, or if they just want new ideas for different food, then there's just loads of videos up online that we've done for loads of food. So we're trying to push, which I'm trying to help try to B2C. I'm trying to help like feeding families in poverty. I'm trying to help encourage children to cook with the parents, to be creative, to try new things, because I found that there's a lot of psychology behind not when a child doesn't like something, it's because you're probably interrupted, or they were interrupted doing a game, which is why they don't like what they're eating. But it's association with, I don't want to eat it because I want to play. So in their head, it's like, well, if I say I don't like it, then I get to play. But it's obviously not as simple as that. But in a child's mind, that's them thinking I don't like it. But it's not. It's because they prefer not to eat it because they want to play. But if they help to cook it, so they're creating with it, then they get to have the end product, which is the food, and then they appreciate it more because they've helped create it. So it's to just try and get the kids like into cooking and like just having a laugh with the grown-ups at home. And that's what we're trying to encourage by doing like the videos with my kids. So now we're like pushing more and more and more to the point where we've actually bought through donations from people. We've actually bought a double-decker bus, which we're turning it into a free cookery school for children, families in poverty. Well, to be fair, any families. And we're going to be doing mainly like making meals out of non-perishable food, corner shop food. And we've got so many businesses and stuff that are helping us as well. We've got like people like Zaflora are donating every client that we have. Zaflora send us a spray bottle and a jar. We've got Midwich, which are like a huge audio visual supplier. They're going to give us screens and stuff so we can video everything and make more films. So there's loads of stuff which is going to be in this bus, which we're going to drive around to all the schools in the southwest. So it's not going to be just an online cookery show. It's going to be, we are going to be at your school and get you in and help you. So the parents will be upstairs on the top deck, and I'll be cooking with the kids on the bottom, and then the parents can eat the food, and then it's just all happy days, and it's all free. Just because I don't think you should have to charge for basic cooking knowledge. All right, if you want to do like a gourmet fish or something, then fine. Like pay for it, or homemade, like handmade pasta or something like that, then fair enough, pay for it. But to learn how to just use meatballs and what to do with meatballs, it's like we should know how to do that for free. Like I didn't know how to do it, so it's like this is self-taught with everything, and yeah, it's if it doesn't go anywhere, it's fun, and I'm enjoying it, and it's just a laugh. Um, so yeah, it's all happy days really.
Well, it's clearly something that's obviously proven useful to yourself. It's going to be useful to other people because you are going to be doing a tutorial in a minute. And I
Yeah,
think what's nice about it is with the news that's been going on this week about free school meals and people trying to make the best situation from what they have, is that you're showing from your personal experience with food banks is that if you have the know-how, it is possible to actually make these meals for your family, isn't it?
yeah. So every day we're doing lockdown lunches, which is meals which cost anything from 70p up to a couple of quid. And
Hmm.
like this cottage pie that we're going to be making today cost £1.53 for the ingredients from Asda, and it will feed 3 portions. It's not the healthiest. Like, I'm never going to say that it's the healthiest, but it's better than a lot of the other stuff that we would be giving our kids. Like,
Yeah.
it's better than like a microwave burger for a quid. It's
Yeah.
there's real good stuff. Although it's all like tin stuff and non-perishable canned, there is still some good stuff in those, which is better
Mm.
than nothing. And it's the education of
Especially if you're on a tight
mixing of the
budget
bits.
as well.
Exactly. And you can
Yeah.
just walk to the corner shop and get these bits as well. So it's like it's convenient, it's cheap, and it gets you doing something as well. So you can like actually feel like you're actually cooking, even though
Mm.
it's like simple ingredients. You feel like you're cooking. So there's pride in there as well.
Yeah. And you said today we're going to be doing a cottage pie. What are some other lunches that you've done recently that you'd recommend to people as well?
Okay, so obviously, so alongside like cottage pie, you could do lasagna. So cheap lasagna with the same sort of stuff. Monday we did a little video where we made rice wraps, which is like a wrap folded in half, full of rice and a bit of cheese. But if you use savoury rice, there's little bits of vegetables in the rice as well. So it's a bit like a little salad on the side, so it's quite filling. We did a casserole, sausage casserole, and that was about £1.50 as well. So that was so a can of hot dogs, a can of chunky soup, a little bit of extra bit of gravy, and then some instant mash as well. So it's
Mm.
there's what else is there? There's loads of stuff. There's the pastas you can do. So like chicken soup with sweet corn, mix that in
Yeah.
with pasta, chopped tomatoes with pasta as well. Just a simple one, which is easy. The mash, like if you mash up, what I'm going to be doing today is mashing up these meatballs. If you get the meatballs in tomato sauce and mash that up, then you can make a bolognese with that as well. Um,
Oh.
so there's loads of little bits and pieces, but it's like it's adding little bits of herbs, adding little bits of like seasoning to make it taste better. Little bit of gravy, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. So like once you've got your cupboard with your bits in to make things better, you can then eat
Yeah.
on an even cheaper budget because you can buy food which isn't as nice as what posh food would be, but you can
Yeah.
add your bits to it to make it as nice.
Yeah, and also I suppose like you were saying for children as well that maybe have got this association with some foods that they don't want to eat, it almost works as a bit of a segue to get them interested into something that's a bit more, interesting
Yeah,
than a sandwich, for example.
yeah. So like if you make a bolognese or something and they don't like mushrooms, because mushrooms are really easy just to tear apart with your hands. If you just get them to like mash it all up, even put it into a bag and smash it with a spoon or something, so it's in tiny little bits. But like they know that it's in there, but they can't see it when it's on the plate because it's smashed up so much. But then in their head, it's like, oh, I am actually eating mushrooms, but I prepared it, so it's okay.
Yeah, which was, I mean, that
And
that would change it, wouldn't it?
yeah, and it does work. It does work. I'm not saying like every child is going to be like it, but it helps, especially if they come onto the double decker bus and then there's other children doing it, doing the same thing. They're going to feel more inclined to do it because everybody else is doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. So cottage pie today,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
will it go?
So we're going to be using chicken meatballs in gravy. I'm going to smash those up like into sort of like mince. Mixed vegetables are going to go in there as well. So there's carrots, peas, long green beans in there as well, and then we'll be using just smash for the top. Instant mash. You can get instant mash with like onion and stuff as well in there.
Okay.
So that's, and then I've got like some garlic granules which I'm going to put in there for a bit of taste, a little bit of salt and pepper as well, and I've got some gravy if I just want to like make it a bit more saucy if there's not enough gravy in the can. But the main three ingredients are these three, and they cost £1.53 from Asda. I checked this morning, so £1.53, and it will do a cottage pie to feed. I reckon it's going to do like 3 portions in there. So
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So like me, and then the kids can have a quarter each. Or like you could do half of it, and then freeze the rest. Put it into a bag and freeze the rest.
Oh yeah, and
So
that's also important, isn't it? Freezing food.
yeah, and it just makes it go along a lot further. Like if you grate food, it goes further than if you chop it. So like
Okay.
if you get a carrot and you grate, if you chop the carrot, then you eat a chunk of carrot and it's gone. And then it's kind of like you get this little stubby part at the bottom and you just chuck it because you can't think of anything to do with it. But if you grate the carrot, put it into a bag, freeze it, you can just take a little bit of that grated carrot and then just chuck it in. So it's just a handful that you need, instead of wasting and chucking away what you don't need.
Yeah. But just before you start cooking, I just want to remind everyone in the comments, if you have any questions, or there's anything that you want to know that you think might be able to help you with, then do write it in the comments and we can flag it up on screen. And as Mike's cooking the cottage pie, I will fire some questions at him. We have been running these Facebook Lives as Q&A sessions, a variety of different mediums, and obviously today we are looking at these lockdown lunches. So if there's anything you want to know, do not be afraid to ask. And then back to you, Mike, with your cottage pie.
All right, so I'll get on with this then. So I'll just wash my little mitts. So yeah, so first thing is going to be opening up the I've forgotten the words now. What
The
are they?
tins?
Vegetables. Yeah. Right, so I'm going to open up the veg and I'm just going to drain the water out of there. So some of this veg some of these tins, they've got quite like a very watery, funky taste to them because they've been sat in this water for a while. So just drain all the water out and then just wash it through with water, and
Okay.
then add a little bit of seasoning to it, and it's good to go. So I'm just going to pour that into my little sieve. Just rinse it over and just let that drain. So we're going to put that back into there so that just drains through. And then I'm going to get my meatballs in gravy, and I'm just going to put that straight into the saucepan. Get a little fork, pull it out. So this has already got the gravy put into it. And before I turn the saucepan on,
yeah,
I'm gonna. This is where the kids can get stuck in. Just literally squeeze those meatballs into little bits of mince. Obviously, you can use a masher if you want, but the kids can help with this. They can really get stuck in there and really get messy.
Yeah, it makes it a bit more interactive. While you're mashing your meatballs, you touched on it a little bit earlier, but we've had a comment from Mark Hawkins asking about what about nutrition. Now, you mentioned this earlier, but maybe just in case Mark wasn't there, explain why you're doing this area of cooking in particular.
So this obviously isn't the most nutritious food. So this is to help people that are in receipt of food bank food, people who can just pop to the corner shop on the way from work. So I'm not saying that this is a diet that you need to stick to every single day, because it's not the healthiest. So this is for like that in a stuck position where you need a little bit of you need something today. You've only got £2 left in the bank, and you need to do something for dinner today. So this is kind of like the recipe for that. This is like, what can I knock together from what I've got in my cupboards, because I've got no fresh food, because I get paid tomorrow, so I don't have any money. So it's like, what can I do for today? So it's not nutritious as much as what other things could be, but it fills kids up, and for one meal a day, it's absolutely fine. And there's still stacks of veg. There's still stuff in there which is good. So like this can,
Brilliant.
I think on here this can is one of your 5 a day out of that. So it's better than a microwave burger. It's better than
Yeah.
packets of crisps and a chocolate bar.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And like you said, it's something that they can get involved in too.
Yeah, yeah. So that's all mashed up in there. So that like kind of resembles the mincemeat that you'd normally have. So I'm just going to bring that up to temperature. Now I've drained off that veg, so I'm just going to whack that in straight in there as well. And with these tins, while I'm on it, with these tins, so we pull the paper off, we drill some holes in the bottom. We've got a little tray outside, and we put in some composting and putting herbs in these, so we can just fill all these up with herbs.
Hey,
So
that's
that's
a really
that.
clever
That's in
idea.
there. So you just put them in the windowsill. So that's one I've just put. So we just like herb go out at the top of it and get your rosemary coming off there. So then
Yeah. And I
you
suppose it
can just
keeps the kids, involved in the
yeah.
cooking
So we,
process as well
yeah,
for even
you
longer.
can talk to them all about like the photosynthesis of growing stuff and yeah, and it's just like cooking. It's just so much more like the colours that are in there. There's the safety that's to do with cooking. There's just so much in it instead of just like preparing some food. It's there's so much learning that's inside cooking, which
Yeah.
people don't often necessarily realise. Right, so I'm
Brilliant.
just mixing that veg into there in that with that gravy as well, and then I'm just going to make a little bit more gravy just to make it more of a sauce. So I'm just going to use because like quite a lot of food bank kits you get gravy with, but you could use
Yeah.
like a little oxo cube to give it a little bit more flavour. Anything that's like got that beefy that that beefy liquidy substance, then that's all good. And also I'm going to put a little bit of garlic in there. So you can obviously buy garlic. You can just chop it up, but
Yeah.
this just goes so far, and it's so cheap for like a little tub of this. And I'm just going to go in there with like a quarter of a teaspoon of garlic, just to give it a little bit of a kick. And then also the same, just with a little bit of pepper, just a quarter of a teaspoon of pepper into there. So then this gravy, I mean, you don't have to put the gravy in if you don't have the gravy. It is watery enough. They've still got gravy in those meatballs, but just to give it like an extra beefy taste, just go in with like a tablespoon of gravy, some boiling water, maybe like 150 ml.
Yeah.
Give it a mix round. But yeah, there's loads of videos that we've done, which is like just trying to figure out, just playing with stuff. So like, there's a food bank down not far from us, and I go there and I speak to the people there, and I ask them like what they have, what they give out in their food bank. So I try and work out, what would be the best to get. So then I go to the shop, I get the same stuff that's in a food bank kit, and then I try and just work out some different ingredients that I can out of that kit. So I'm just going to pour that gravy into there. Give it a
And I
mix
suppose
around.
is this quite a time savvy way of cooking as well? Because if you were to do a cottage pie with other ingredients, it would take a bit longer, wouldn't it? So
Yeah,
this is
yeah, obviously, yeah.
also
You
if
got to
you're on
take it.
a tight schedule.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, like as soon as this is warmed up, it's done. Like normally we'd
Mm.
have to like cook it all on here, and then we'd transfer it to the oven to like cook the mash that's on the top, and then we'd have to boil potatoes, and they take half an hour, then it's in there for 40 minutes, and there's it's a good like hour of making a cottage pie. But this is like once you've cracked the jar open, once you've cracked the tin open and poured it in and heated it up, then it's ready to go. And the mash, obviously, it's just instant mash, so we can just put it in, and as soon as that's done, it's literally ready to go onto the plate. So like this instant mash, it's not the best mash, and you can get other ones with like bits of onion in there as well, so you got different flavors. But it's all right, it's okay. And if it's what you've got, then it's what you've got. So
Mm.
there's going to be 450 ml of boiling water into there. Now, obviously, the hot bits and like the sharp bits, we don't recommend children to obviously do, unless they've obviously done like been cooking for a while. So like Cody is 5 now, and he's been in the kitchen with me for a good couple of years. So he's starting to use like sharper knives. But we've got these safety knives that we use, and they'll literally cut through like vegetables. Like they're really good, but they won't cut your hand. They're just plastic.
Oh, nice.
And they're really cool. But we've done a couple of videos on YouTube about safety in the kitchen. Just to give people a bit of an idea of like how I did it with my kids. So like you might see there's like little stickers on here. So we put yellow stickers on everything that can get hot, and then we put I've got a different colour sticker, a red sticker which goes on everything which is sharp. So we went round the kitchen putting stickers on, so they could learn what's sharp and what's hot. So if I just give them a list of everything that's sharp, like the microwave, the kettle, the oven, the saucepans, the frying pans, then they'll be like, well, I've forgotten all this list. But if I just say everything with your sticker on is hot, and they just know not to touch the stuff with the sticker on. So it's like trying to do things easily on their sort of level, so they understand like what they can and can't do. And obviously, like, you know, it's your kitchen, it's your rules. You've got to try and make it as safe as you can in there, but also fun. So once that mash is done, just get all this stuff out of the way. That's starting to simmer. So you can even put this, because it's cooked there, we can even put this straight into a bowl. So we could put like a spoonful of the filling into a bowl, and then put the mash on the top. But I'm going to put it into my little tray there. So that is basically the filling of our cottage pie. So that's basically all the little bits and pieces in there, and then we pour that into this dish. Turn that off. And then we just put the mash over the top. Now, so what I do from here, I mean, you can serve it up like this. It's literally done. But what I do from here is then grate a little bit of cheese over the top, and I pop it into the grill and get that cheese going a bit crispy. Nice. So then it's got that crispy top. So, and it's like literally the tiniest corner of cheese you could imagine will be enough. Which I'll just get in a second. So it's just like really simple, and this is like a 5-minute thing, and it's filled this container up. So I've done my mash a little bit too thick there because I didn't read the packet properly, but it'll do. And then a little bit of cheese on top of there. And then that, but it's ready to go.
Wow.
So that can go into the grill now, or it can be served up like that. So if you just get a little bowl, a little plate for the kids.
Now, I suppose portion sizes are important as well to be aware of, aren't they?
Yeah. Obviously, you know, each kid is different. But like my daughter will probably eat that sort of size, and then my son will eat the same. Well, probably a bit more. He's a little bit older, so a little bit more, and then I can finish the rest. So that's those two, and then one for me, and then there's still going to be enough to pop into the freezer.
Nice.
So then, obviously, like with this, you could do, like on the side, you could put stuff on the side. Literally, it's endless what you could do. If you put a can of chopped tomatoes in there instead of doing it like with so much mince and gravy, you could put the chopped tomatoes in there, a little bit of tomato puree, and then you've got yourself a bolognese. So you can use the meatballs but in tomato sauce instead. So yeah, so there's loads of different little bits and pieces we can do with this. So there's lasagnas that we can do. There's the cottage pies. Obviously, it's pretty much the same as a shepherd's pie, but shepherd's pie. One of them's lamb and one of them's beef. But these are chicken meatballs, so it's kind of like neither. So it's like a homemade can pie. But yeah, so if that goes into the grill, then you're going to get obviously that crispy cheese as well. So we're going to get like a really good finish on it. But that is literally well, there's 4 portions there for £1.53.
Yeah.
The non-perishable food, and it's good food. You know, I know you can't taste it there, but it's good.
We've got Christine in the comments saying nice with sprouts. I don't know if I could go that far. I don't know if I could put sprouts with it.
So if you fry sprouts, so you parboil them, squash them a little bit, and fry them with a little bit of pancetta and lemon, sprouts are amazing. But yeah, you could crack on with anything. This is actually really good. You know, I do like this.
Is it? Going for a little mid-morning early lunch.
Do it, yeah.
So what are some other tips that you have for making food go a long way then, especially for people that are eligible for free school meals?
So grating stuff makes it go further than chopping it. So if you chop up, like I was saying, if you chop up a carrot, it's like a chunk, and that chunk is going to get lost. But if you grate it, there's loads of little pieces in there, so it can spread over a bigger dish. Bulking stuff up with lentils or chickpeas. I've got some of those around here. You can bulk up with those. So people don't know when to use lentils and chickpeas, but you can use them to literally just make something bigger and more of it. If you've got 400 grams of mince that you're going to turn into a bolognese, then you can chuck in some lentils or chickpeas as well, and it will just make it into I think it's 400. So what's in here? 390 grams. So if you do a bigger one, then you can do a pack of mince and a can of these, and you've got like twice as much volume inside your bolognese. So it's like you using, and they're pence, you know, and they're in kits as well that you can get from the schools. But then obviously, like what we've seen with that parcel that lady had, there is like 2 carrots, 2 bananas. I've been really trying to think, without blowing my own trumpet, I can make anything out of anything. And I've been looking at that picture, trying to think of what 5 meals I can make with that. And I make stuff all the time out of nothing, which is why I do this show. You know, I've been making stuff out of nothing for nearly 3 years. So I'm really trying to make something out of those ingredients. So I think what I'm going to do is go and buy all of those ingredients that the lady took a photo of, and see if I can make 5. I know that there's a lot of like people saying that you can't anyway, but I just want to prove the point that it's not good enough, and you can't make 5 meals out of there. Okay, yeah, there might be 5 pieces of fruit, and that's great. There might be some yogurts, and that's great as well. But for like a main meal, it's just really hard to try and make something out of what she had in that picture. But I am going to try.
To see you do it as well. I mean, or not do it, as the case may be, because that would
exactly.
bring the message. What other tips do you have for finding bargains on food items as well? Like you said, this cottage pie, £1.53. If people are struggling, and like you said, you know, they haven't been paid yet, or they're down to their last couple of pounds, what are the best ways for people to find deals on food?
Okay, so you got to think, like, first of all, where you're going to go shopping. Your corner shop is much more expensive than your supermarket. So you've got to weigh up, like, if you've got £2 left, it's not going to go far in a corner shop. So like, this was £1.53, but if I was going to buy just the instant mash from the corner shop, that would be probably £2 for the instant mash. So you've got to if you're going to bargain hunt, the first place you want to go is to the cheapest place, like the cheapest, which is the supermarket. So go to the supermarkets and then have a meal in mind of what you need to buy, or a day in mind of what you need to buy. So don't shop if you're on a really tight budget, don't shop for the week, just shop for that day or 2 days. know we're not supposed to be going out for unnecessary trips, but obviously just have set things in your mind of what you're going to cook. So if you just walk around going, oh, that's nice and that's nice and that's nice, you're not going to really think about your budget. So
Yeah.
have that meal in mind and have the ingredients in mind of what you want to get, and then you've got to think, right, can I get that in a cheaper form? So like each ingredient, you then want to go, can I get that in a cheaper form? So you're thinking of cheaper from supermarkets, you're thinking of a cheaper meal, and then you're thinking of cheaper ingredients. So you're always thinking about what you can do to get it cheaper. Because if you go and get the most expensive ingredient at a corner shop, then that's your whole budget blown. But if you go cheaper than cheaper than cheaper, up to your ingredients, and then think about how you can make that ingredient a bit tastier, cheaper,
Yeah.
with seasoning, herbs, grow your own herbs out of your cans.
Which
Fresh
is a
herbs
great
are going to
idea,
be
that.
they're going to be like, you literally, your fresh herbs are going to be free because they're there. So like, and so you can make your really cheap, not so nice tasting tin food into something better by mixing it with a little bit of something else. So obviously that all comes with like education and knowing what goes with what and what herb goes with what. But that's why we're doing the show. So you don't need to like learn that yourself. You just watch us. We'll tell you what to do, and then you just think, right, that's the meal that I'm going to do tonight. So I've got £2. I'm going to stop off at Asda on the way home or Aldi, and I'm going to get these 3 items, and that's going to be done for the kids. And it's going to come out, and I'm going to grill it. It's going to look smart. The kids are going to love it, and it's going to be great, and everyone's going to be full.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't want to keep you for much longer because I can see your cottage pie is going to go cold. So very
No,
quickly
yeah.
before we before we wrap up, if people, I mean, hopefully people have found this video helpful, especially if they weren't aware of you before. And if people want to learn more, like you said, you're doing your cooking tutorials, how do they find you online and learn more about what you're doing?
So we are on cookingwithcody.co.uk. You can go and see. So on there is just a list of all the businesses and people that we've been working with, all the features that we've done for the press, like for yourselves. We've done on the Russell Howard show, a few other like the BBC and stuff. So you can see what we've done for other media people. You can see all the businesses that we've worked with as well, like cake shops and stuff. But then also, if you don't want to go to the website, you can go to facebook.com/cook with Cody or search for Cooking with Cody. We're on Instagram as well, same Cooking with Cody, and we're on youtube.com/Cooking with Cody as well. So it's Cooking with Cody everywhere. And there's videos everywhere, and we do a live video every day at the moment through lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
So every weekday, so Monday to Friday. On a Sunday, we're putting out a list of recipes that we'll be doing for that week. So if you're going to pop to the shops, you can just go and grab what you need, learn, like you can watch us. It's child friendly as well. So I'll be talking as if I'm just directing it to the children. So then we can get the kids involved, and we're doing it every single day through lockdown, every single week through lockdown.
Amazing.
So give us a search, find us, jump on.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Mick, for getting involved in this Facebook Live tutorial with us on Devon, Plymouth and Cornwall Live today. Hopefully
like
everybody knows where to... I know. Well, I think, do you know what was really nice as well is when we started it, somebody actually left a comment saying, this is the guy that I was trying to think of. And then,
nice.
obviously already knew that they wanted to find you, but couldn't remember who you are. So that's brilliant. And now anybody that didn't know has got all the information at the bottom of the screen there. Search for Cooking with Cody and your website too. Brilliant stuff. Right. Maybe we'll be able to get you on again as well and do some more.
Well, when the bus is on the road, you can come down on the bus, and I'll get all the reporters to try and knock up some food.
Anywhere where there's food involved, I'm there. Count me in.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Mike.
Not
And
a problem.
we will catch you later on. So goodbye, everyone.